What is good, YouTube fam, and welcome to today's tutorial.
So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us. Could be us.
Welcome back to Corey Edits episode 1, guys. Specifically, this series is going to focus on all the photos I shoot and how I edit them. So for today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how I edited this photo from this to this. Now let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom. What is good, guys? Now that we are in Lightroom, I'm going to show you guys how I edited this photo. But first, I'm going to give you guys one tip. How I typically will shoot my photos is I underexpose it. If you're one of my followers on Instagram, you'll see my before and afters. A lot of the photos will end up being dark. That's because I underexpose. I have more room to play with here in Lightroom. I can adjust the shadows, bring it up. If you underexpose it or you expose it properly, sometimes it's a little bit harder to edit out those highlights and shadows. And this is just my style on how I shoot. I guess you can almost compare it to Brandon Wolfell's style. He also shoots underexposed, and he has more room to play with it in Photoshop or Lightroom or whichever one he's using. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this tutorial. So what I will typically do first is I will adjust my shadows all the way up. As you can see, it's already dark enough, but we're gonna bring up the shadows. And a lot of people already know my editing style. They can tell it's like that bluish orangish look or teal and orange. So it is, and what we're gonna go ahead and do to achieve that look is we're gonna come down here to the camera calibration, go to your blue primary, and we're gonna go ahead and bring this down. I usually bring it down to somewhere around 80ish, negative 80ish. And the next thing is you're gonna go ahead and bring your red primary up to around 80, plus 80. Next, I also adjust my green primary. I will usually bring that up to around 80 as well. Let's go ahead right there. And like I said, I mean, this is just my editing style. Whatever you guys see me doing, this is just how I do it. You know, if you guys have your own style, if you guys want to, you know, take this and change it into your own style, go ahead and do that as well. I'm just showing you how I personally edit my photos. Okay, so now next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is my final edit had like this real bluish look to it. It was pretty much the whole photo looked blue, and I made these lights really pop out. Now, how you achieve that is you're gonna go into your color temperature and bring that down more to the blues. So let's go ahead and just do that, and I'll show you how I'll change the white. See how that just changes. Now, of course, you don't want to change, like, you don't want to make the whole photo blue, so you kind of want to have it somewhere in the middle. I think this is pretty good for me, so we'll just keep with that right now. Actually, you know what? Let's keep it right there. Okay, we'll keep it right there. Okay, next thing what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the exposure. I'll probably bring it up to, let's say, negative 70. Somewhere around there. You know what? I think I want some more blue in there. Since I brought up the exposure a little bit more, let's throw some more blue in there. I really like my blues. Okay, I think that's pretty good right there, at least. Just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and add some contrast. I'll usually keep the contrast around plus 10. Next, I'll play with the highlights. Now, I don't usually... I will change the highlights depending if, you know, the sun is too bright out, or it depends on where I'm also shooting as well. But since we're shooting indoors and it's pretty much just fluorescent lights or whatever lights they're using in here, I want to still have it pop a little bit more. So I'll just go ahead and maybe bring it down to, like, let's say negative 40. Let's just go with negative 35. We'll keep it right there for now. Maybe we'll change it later. Now what I want to do is, you see how the photo looks really faded? I'm going to go ahead and bring the blacks down. Kind of remove that faded look. Let's go with maybe negative 51 or so. I think that's pretty good. Well, also, let's bring down the shadows just a slight bit to negative 90. Now it seems like it's a little too dark, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just bring up the exposure a little bit more. Let's keep it. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys something, another thing I've been playing around with. So we'll keep it, let's keep it around like plus 90 or so. We'll go ahead and keep it there. Okay, next thing, what I usually will do is I'll play around with clarity. I do add clarity to my photos. I usually just keep it around plus 10. So we'll just do the same exact thing with this photo. Let's bring the saturation down to negative 10. Bring the vibrance up to around plus 25-ish. And this is where I usually keep all my settings at, like when I'm adjusting photos. This is just what I edit with. Now, for those that are like a big fan of the faded look, how you would achieve that is you would need to go into tone curve and adjust this right here. And, you know, that's faded enough. But honestly, like I do like the faded look, but I don't do much of it on my photos. And if I do, I will keep it at a minimal basis, like right here. And then what I would do right here is go down to the shadows and bring the shadows down a little bit more. Let's say around negative 30. Bring the darks up a little bit. Maybe plus 10. But I'm not gonna add any fade to this photo, so let's just bring that back. Bring back the shadows. Okay, we'll keep that there. You know, maybe I'll drop the shadows a little bit, like right here. Let's keep with like negative 5 or so. Okay, so now next step I'm gonna do is play with HSL. If you want to make these blues pop a little bit more, you can go ahead and change the saturation of it over here. Let's just bring the blues up to like plus 50 or something. See how that changed a little bit more? Let's bring the aquas up a little bit more, like plus 40. Now you got that real blue popping right now. Popping. I think this looks pretty dope right here already. It's still a little bit dark for my taste, but like I said, I'm going to show you guys something I've been playing around with lately. Okay, so split toning. Split toning is one of my favorite things to play with because you can really get different looks with different photos. What I will typically do is I'll bring the saturation up at 10. I don't like to oversaturate with split toning, so I usually keep both of these at 10. You see how her skin tone changed a little bit more as well. Let's go ahead and bring the highlights. I'm going to bring it to the blues. I'm going to make the blues pop still a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good right there. Keep it right there. With the shadows, it'll change your shadow areas, whatever color you want. You want the blues to pop a little bit more, you can, but now the photo just looks way too blue for my taste. So I'm going to just bring it back down to the orange, reddish section over here. I think that looks pretty good. If we want to add more, we want to make her skin tone pop a little bit more. Let's see. Can bring the saturation of the oranges up a little bit more. It also adjusts this over here. Now let's maybe just keep it. Let's keep it at plus 25. We'll keep it there, guys. This is looking really good already to me. Okay, so next step, something I do on literally all photos is in the detail section, I will bring my sharpening up to 125. Yes, I know that seems like a lot. I've just found it to work for me personally. I like the look. It does make your photos pop and look a little bit more sharp. So I usually keep it at 125. Next is noise reduction. So noise reduction, I've played around with this multiple times on scene where I want to keep my noise reduction, and I tend to keep it halfway there at 50%. So let's bring it to 50. And now it does soften up the image a little bit more, but hey, that's just what I like. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. So under effects, one thing I really love playing around with is vignetting. I've kind of slowed down and toned down the amount of use I do with vignetting. I do like it still, but I think I was using it a little bit too much. It kind of overpowered the photo. But anyways, for this photo, I'm gonna bring it down to like -10. We'll keep it around -10 right there. Alright, so we're nearly done. Okay, so the next tip I want to give you guys is, let's say you kind of want to keep the overall photo a little less bright like this, but of course show her face a little bit more. Let me show you how you would do this. So let's bring down the exposure to maybe like 70. Okay, so it did get a little bit darker. Her face also got darker, but I'm gonna show you guys how you can bring just the exposure of her face up. What you would do is you're gonna go into the Radial Filter. What this does is it pretty much creates a mask, and you can mask anywhere and it'll just affect that area wherever you created the mask. So I'm gonna just draw like the shape of her face. Let's tilt it a little bit more. Alright, we'll keep it right there. Now change the effect to exposure. I'll show you guys how you can soften up skin and make it look a little bit more, you know, soft and clear. Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna bring up the exposure. You see how that affects just her face? That's all you want to do, guys. It depends on the look you're going for your photo. But like I said, if you're going for like a darker look environmentally wise, but want to keep her face a little bit more exposed, this is what you would do. So let's go ahead and maybe let's keep it around, I think 30 will be good. No, that's kind of a little too much, I feel. Let's go ahead and bring it down to maybe like 20. Okay, I think I'll keep with 30 for now. I think we'll go back to 30. Alright, let's keep with 30, guys. Okay, so I mean, I kind of just wanted to show you guys how that would work. If whatever you guys want to go with editing wise, that's how you would pretty much change certain areas by using the mask. You can also use your adjustment brush and change certain things, but I rarely do that. I'm usually using the Radial Filter and just adjusting the face exposure. Okay, another thing I've actually been playing around with, it's almost like vignetting, but is a gradient filter. So what this will do is, if you want like your exposure to be darker up here and then slowly fade into being a little bit lighter, that's what the gradient filter will do. So I'll kind of show you what that does. I've actually been playing with this a lot more on my photos. I just kind of like the look it gives. Go ahead and change your effect to exposure, and I'll show you how this affects everything. So as you guys can see, it's pretty much just a gradient filter. All it's doing is creating a darker mask over here and then making it lighter over here. So if that's what you guys want in this area, let's go ahead and play around with that. Let's go ahead with like -70 right here. Gets a little bit lighter over here. I'm also gonna add another one right here. This one will be just a little bit smaller. Yeah, let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, change the effect to exposure. Let's go ahead and bring it down to maybe -40. Alright, I think this looks pretty cool, guys. You see her face is popping a little bit more. I mean, I'm gonna just leave it as is, but if you guys, whenever you guys are editing photos and you feel like the exposure on whoever's face or whatever is a little bit too much, just bring it down. You know, let's bring this down to 20. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool, actually. I think we'll maybe keep it at 20. Especially since we darkened the photo, you want to kind of match the environment to what like the light would actually look like on a person's face. I think this is pretty good, honestly. Yeah, we're pretty much done, guys. So this is how I edit my photos. It's different for every photo I do, especially depends where I'm taking it. But I think I'm gonna turn this into a series and show you guys how I edit a majority of my photos. If you guys like that idea, please give me a thumbs up on this video. Please give me a comment below. Please click that subscribe button. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram already, please follow me at Corey.Saldana. All my social media stuff will be in the video description below. Please, guys, just follow me, and I hope to come out with more dope videos like this for you guys. Alright, guys. Peace.
I used to be so happy, but without you here, I feel so low. I watch you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. Cause once upon a time, you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. It's buried deep inside me, but I feel there's something you should know. I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. From the day that